Welcome everyone to the third season of the Bryan podcast. Guys, we're back.
Good morning and
Hey.
welcome.
Yeah, how's it, guys? It's awesome to be back.
Are we doing seasons or episodes?
Episodes, but it's the third year.
It is the third year.
Third year of the show.
Third year, can you believe that, guys?
So we decided to do a little promo episode today and basically just let you all know what our plans are for the year. So Ryan, what are our plans for the year?
I'm dying to hear as well.
I had a feeling you might. I was waiting for that. I just knew it. I know your rhythm now.
You cannot open up the year without ragging Pilot Guy.
Look, I think what we want to do, we're going to keep pushing out a show every week, our Friday show, which is going to be news, trends, reviews in the airline industry and the travel industry in Southern Africa, and the world, I suppose. But we're going to do a bit more this year. We want to push out, do a few more things. We've got the platform now, and our aim, so certainly from my side, I've sort of got a big interest now on the productivity tech side of things. So I'm going to report on it, do a few reviews here and there, let you know what I'm up to. I know Brett's got plans of his own, and Ryan and I will be basically concentrating on the airline side of things here locally, doing the odd review here and there, but basically just broadening the horizons that we set last year. You know, it was so much fun getting here every morning, sort of every Friday, I should say, pushing out that Friday show, because there's a bit of work that goes into it. You got to review check the news, see what's happened through the week, come up with opinions and actually report on it. But that was sort of half the fun, and I've missed doing that, and I don't want to stop doing that. That's going to be our bread and butter podcast, and that aim for that will be to be broadcast every Friday. But there will be one or two other things through the week. Not every week, we're not going to commit to it, but when there's something worthwhile, newsworthy, we're going to push something out. So looking forward to an exciting year ahead for the Bryan podcast channel.
I think we've done this, we've supported the communities, the hospitality, the airline pilots, everyone associated to it. We're not going to stop doing that. We have to carry on reporting that, because as you say, that's the base of what we're doing here, and that's what we started, and it's got to stay, and we want it to stay. But as you said, I like your tech side of things, and for me, I've had a lot of interest brought to me about more the emotional side of things, how to deal with this type of stuff, how to deal with change, how to deal with moving to a new career, how to deal with the fear and the emotions attached to that, and all of those type of things. So I'm looking forward to bringing that to the table, just bringing a segment in. You're going to need a lot of assistance from me, clearly.
well, that's where I step in. My main function, my whole idea as well, is obviously to maintain a good positive attitude and vibe throughout the year. Things still aren't any easier at the moment than they were last year.
They're not, are they?
No, and it's going to take a long time before it does get a whole lot better, but I'm going to do my best to maintain a good positive attitude and try and keep things lighthearted when you guys decide to get all serious and stuff.
Serious and deep.
Yeah, someone's got to brighten up the mood.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely the
Thank goodness.
jokester of the pack. But when we're going to push out that first episode, we decided 28th.
28th.
The reason it's
Yeah.
at 28th is because this guy is going on holiday to Cape Town.
Well, I've just got a notification from SAF Air that they're just moving my flights randomly. My departure flight and my return flight, they've just moved.
Serious?
2 different days. Not even the same day. So I actually don't know if I'm going anywhere.
Do they know you're actually doing a review on the airline?
Clearly they don't. Well, this is the first review, Fly SAF Air. So yeah, I actually have to check it out today because I've been away. So it's going to be interesting to see what actually.
Okay.
Is that because of the
It's the
curfew
lockdown.
rules
Yeah,
and stuff? Yeah.
curfew rules, lockdown.
Look, that has thrown a curveball
It
to all
has.
the airlines.
Look,
Bottom line is they're trying to fit everyone in. So they're pushing everyone onto different flights. The problem is you've got accommodation, you've got car hire, you've got all of those things that it impacts that. And this morning I was like, why can't they phone and ask me what I prefer? But they can't do that with everyone.
But
That's
can
the
you
problem.
imagine the can of worms that they got thrown on the announcement of the curfews? I mean, the scheduling, airline scheduling, I know inside that department in an airline is a nightmare. It's difficult. You know, you don't just decide on a 9 o'clock slot or a 6 o'clock slot. And we know from our previous employer, which I'm going to start calling it now, that it was the early morning slots that held the most value. They were the ones that were busy. So to get rid of those early morning flights, a lot of people just say, "Oh, it's not worth traveling. Let's delay it," which is not good.
Yeah, not to mention, the knock-on effect from when your schedule gets disrupted so early in the morning. It just obviously the knock-on effect throughout the day just causes a whole lot of havoc. So yeah, not an enviable job that those guys have in the scheduling
I feel sorry
department.
for all of the airlines in the same boat. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But to remain sort of positive, which we will, we took a positive angle last year, and looking back on some of our earlier episodes, there was this progression to opening the borders, and finally, domestic travel really picked up. There's been a bit of a slump now over this December, sort of January period, which is normally such a busy period for the airlines. So there's a bit of work to be done again to claw that sort of progress that they made back, and it's not going to be easy, but we're here to support the airlines for sure, and we want to promote as best we can. Basically promote anyone that is doing something for the industry. And there's lots of individuals out there, and it's not necessarily just businesses. I think that's where what we've realized. There's a lot of individual people that do a lot for the community in aviation, and it's those people that we really want to get behind. In fact, a lot of the time it's those people that are doing more than a lot of the companies. So yeah, we look forward to an exciting year ahead and new challenges for us. Obviously we've got quite comfortable now reporting about news and knowing where to find it, and gathering opinions about the stuff, but we want to keep challenging ourselves. So keep a lookout on the Bryan Podcast YouTube channel, and there should be something there for everyone now. If you're not interested in watching a 40 or so minute news broadcast, there might be something there slightly shorter that does tickle your fancy. So keep checking it out. Don't forget to subscribe. As always, the podcast is available on your app of choice, so whether it's Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast.
But what happened to the Spotify offer that we got? To be exclusive.
I turned it down.
I did.
Yeah, it was just...
Not everyone likes Spotify, I suppose.
Yeah.
We just weren't happy with the private
terms and conditions.
Yeah, and I mean...
I've seen the issues they given Joe Rogan, so didn't want to get caught. And I'm always looking out for you guys. I must get the best deal possible for you.
I just wasn't happy with the fact that they didn't want to throw a private jet into the mix.
At least I didn't like that.
At least the
I
other
mean,
one,
this is an aviation podcast.
Yeah, any deal of that magnitude must come with a private jet.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, I don't know if you guys have anything you want to add. Brett, where can people find stuff that you're pushing out? Obviously, Ryan and I will be quite active on the YouTube channel side of things on the Bryan Podcast. Brett will be part of the Friday show, as he has been the entire time. But you're going to be doing a few more other things yourself, and I think people are. There was a huge interest in a lot of the stuff you had to say last year on the show. How many people said, "Hey, I like Brett's angle on things"? So it'd be nice if people can find your stuff directly as well.
No, absolutely, and that's why we're adding the segment in, which has been something that's been a passion of mine for a long time. So I've got my own website, brettmarkpreston.com, and a lot of my stuff is going to be pushed out there. Videos, content, all of that. I'm working on that. This whole Bryan podcast thing has opened up a whole new world, I think, for all of us. and especially me as well. It's been something I've been wanting to do for a long time. So it's great. It's sideline stuff. It's not charged for. It's there, and it's really just to help people with the emotional side, the awareness side, the just dealing with what we're dealing with. So yeah, but we'll put all my details in the show notes as well.
BrettMarkPreston.com. Yeah, check that out. The details will always be there, and yeah, check it out. Ryan and I will be hitting the tech angle every now and again. So yeah, exciting stuff. But as always, a pleasure. What else should we say?
There's nothing else to say. Everyone's just waiting with bated breath.
Yeah, everyone's saying, when have you guys stopped? When are you starting again? So hang on, just relax.
Yeah.
We pushed our show every week. We needed the break. Look, I'll be honest. I did need the break from the show.
Yeah.
You've got to, as well, what it does is you're able to step back and actually look. You can be a bit more critical of what you've actually done through the year, and then make improvements going forward. And it's little things, here and there, changing one or two little things. But if you're immersed in it the whole time, it's very difficult to make those changes. So the break, I suppose, has done us good.
I don't think we realized how much stress and pressure running a podcast actually puts on you. I mean, Thursday nights, you don't sleep effectively. You wake up early in the morning, your mind's on, have I got the right information? Is everything correct? How's the show going to do? What we're going to do better? Then you got the show, you got the pressure of that, plus you got a full work day. So there's a lot of pressure related to it. There's
a lot involved. One of the reasons why, as well, we've opened a Patreon account. Now, Patreon's basically, it's a funding platform. If anyone out there wants to support the show, and you by no means have to, you can check out our Patreon account, and details, of course, in the show notes. And basically what that is, that's just a monthly sort of pledge that you make. As I said, if you want to support the show, that's how you do it. There's quite a lot involved there, Brett, if you think about the podcast that we've only picked up, as we've been doing the show. Obviously, hardware is one thing, but there's a lot of little subscriptions we have to make along the way to allow us to do the show. So the Patreon account is basically just there for anyone that wants to support that, to help us continue doing what you're doing. Like you said, there's a lot of time that gets dedicated to it, and it affects your work day because you've got to come in before you actually start work, and obviously all the preparation that goes in it. So if you want to support, there are two options there. There's a $5 a month and a $10 a month. Check it out, and we will push a few extra things on that Patreon account. I think what I quite like with that is all the behind the scenes stuff will go on Patreon. So if you're a subscriber on there, you can check that out. So be careful what you say off the air, guys, because there's quite a few bloopers, I won't lie. So if you want to look at the bloopers, that's where to find it on Patreon.
And you talk about the intricacies with all the hardware and that. We've taken a long time to get to a level where we have our own studio, which we are damn lucky within the period that we've been doing this, that we have a studio. I mean, how many requests have you had from listeners saying, can we rent your studio? Can we rent your equipment?
Yeah, and you know what as well, Brett, and what I said to the guy that actually asked me, it's been half the fun setting up the studio and getting to that point. I don't think it would have had the same effect had we just started with this and not had to take those knocks and works along the way and figure out this lighting works better than that, and changing this around, adding soundproofing. You've changed your mic a couple of times. We've had to fiddle with the software, and it's all part of the journey, and that learning curve has been massive. And for me now, that's why I've developed this interest and this sort of passion for pushing out content that interests me. If it interests me, I'm sure it interests other people, and I want to get that out. So it's added a whole different element to my life, and this show's become, I know it's become so important to us. And I suppose, 221 is the year to really expand it. So that's why there's so much excitement around it.
Exactly that. I mean, I view it as if you were working on a project like one of these chaps that decided that you were going to rebuild a custom car, something like that. It's a work in progress where you make something virtually out of nothing, or like starting your own business and watching it grow kind of thing. It's been really cool to be part of that and see the progress and build and work towards something which is really awesome and exciting. Like you said earlier, having the break was necessary. I mean, coming out of the year that we did last year, from this time last year, we were both still airline pilots, and things were very, very different. And having to learn how to adapt and transfer your skills and figure things out did take its toll. And but all that said and done, we're going to make sure that we keep our foot on the gas this year.
That's for sure. Foot on the gas. That's a good way to end it.
Yeah.
BrettMarkPreston.com, BryanRoseveare.com. All our stuff will always be on that, on BryanRoseveare.com as well. So videos and podcasts. Check out Patreon. Download it on straight from your web browser, the easiest way. But look forward to bringing you the news every week and more. As always, cheers for now.
Ciao.
Cheers.